Guys, it's Adrian. It is Capricorn Tigress of Astrology, a look inside. And it is Wednesday, April 16th of 2025. I'm here. Okay, I'm here. I almost sound like I'm here, under duress, but I'm here. I'm here. Okay, we're going to talk about some things because I have a feeling that some of the things I'm experiencing, I'm not the only person going through it. And if that's the case, then we need to talk, right? We need to talk. So let's talk about where the planets are. The planets. Let's start with that because I have a feeling that this is the whole problem. Is that the planets, the shift? We've got some major shifts happening when it comes to the planets. A couple of the long-range planets are moving, or have moved, or will move. But one of the major shifts that we just had over the past week was Neptune. Neptune moved into Aries. Neptune is at 0 degrees of Aries right now. And I just realized exactly what's wrong with me. And most likely, exactly what's going on with other people if you relate to what I'm about to talk about. So I have been feeling as though I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm glad to be dressed. I feel like I could definitely stay asleep. I slept yesterday for about 10, 12 hours, woke up, and I was exhausted. I woke up feeling exhausted. And I talked to my daughter, who then told me she also woke up feeling exhausted. And there was someone else, I saw them post something that they woke up feeling exhausted. And so I'm wondering how many other people woke up feeling exhausted. And also what that is, why are we feeling it, and what do I think it is? So I've always called Neptune the planet of Rip Van Winkle. That's a joke. When I was my daughter was younger, and I would fall asleep or need extra sleep, because there is entire years that I was affected by Neptune, where I just kind of like bowed out of life, and I slept most of the time. And this happened as my daughter was growing up. So at that time, to explain to her why her once very active mother went through a period of sleep, because don't forget, wherever Neptune is, we're talking about 14 years. Neptune doesn't just go into a place for a few years. It goes in for a long haul. So you've got to prepare your loved ones and everyone for what might occur during a Neptune transit that could affect your life. So when Neptune, which by the way, in my own horoscope, is my most elevated planet. Neptune is my most elevated planet. It sits on my midheaven, exactly, within 3 degrees. And it opposes my natal moon, exactly, within 2 degrees. So it is my most elevated planet. It is the most serious planet in my horoscope chart. And I'm very concerned about it. It's involved in some squares and things like that, and the main opposition to the moon. And my sun itself is in the 12th house, which is the house ruled by Neptune. So I'm very aware of the power of Neptune. And some people, I don't think, give enough credit to Neptune and the power that exists in the planet of Neptune. Neptune is nebulousness. It is confusion. To the point of you make no sense. You're exhausted. You might even be slurring. You most likely are high on something. There was a period of time in the 60s, 70s, and 80s where a lot of housewives, it was a thing, They were on things like Prozac and Zoloft and Valiums and things like that. They were out of it. That was the whole thing, was to be out of it. And that was most likely those who were out of it were being affected by Neptune, because Neptune is what creates the out of it. And drugs. Drugs is basically ruled by Neptune. Alcoholism. Alcoholism is ruled by Neptune. Smoking is ruled by Neptune. Smoke in general. A lot of people don't know that. Neptune. All the haziness, all the things that rule haziness is ruled by Neptune. Oh yeah, even like prison, by the way, Neptune, because that's the 12th house, and Neptune rules the 12th house. Oh yeah. Hospitals, prisons, mental institutions, medications, self-medicating, drugs of all kind, alcohol of all kind, any escapism whatsoever. And sleep, you see, is a form of escapism. So those who have a heavy Neptune in their chart tend towards sleeping because there's a lot of escapism that is going on. So you guys, I am back. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I got sick. I was right in the middle of talking and I got sick. I'm okay. I just got a little sick and I needed to take a moment. So let's go back to what we were talking about. So we were talking about 0 degrees of Aries. And right now we've got Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, at 0 degrees and 38 minutes of Aries. And Mercury is exactly conjunct Neptune. Mercury's at 0 degrees and 33 minutes of Aries. So I believe that there's a lot of confusion in communication right now. Some people may not be able to communicate clearly right now. There could be a lot of people who are sleeping right now, or maybe self-medicating a lot right now. I think that this is not helped because Mars is at 29 degrees and 32 minutes of Cancer, or basically, which by the way is on my North Node, but Mars is in a grand trine, or wait a minute, let me make sure it's just a trine. It's just a trine. Oh, but excuse me. This morning, and this is why I brought this up. Okay, so let me set this up. Neptune and Mercury, communication blurred, right? Neptune and Mercury conjunct. Mars, although in Cancer, is actually trine both Mercury and Neptune. So Mars in Cancer is trine Mars, Mercury and Neptune. But the moon this morning was in Sagittarius. And so over today in particular, the moon would have been in creating a grand trine. We just got out of it. It's probably why I just woke up. I've been asleep. And I wonder how many other people have been asleep. That between that grand trine, that fiery grand trine with water in it, and it being at 0 degrees, so it's a fate degree, 29 degrees in Cancer, fate degree, 0 degrees, fate degrees. But then we had that Sagittarius setting up that grand trine situation. So I don't know what happened today. I just have a feeling that a lot of it's confusion. I did see before I fell asleep, because I slept most of the day, but before I fell asleep, I remember seeing that the one senator who flew to San Salvador to go see that one gentleman who was erroneously sent to an El Salvador prison was not able to see him. I do remember hearing about that and seeing that all over the social media. And I thought, wow, what a state of confusion. That man is already dead. I remember I posted this somewhere that I believe this man is already dead. And the issue with that is that this is just someone who was not supposed to go, that we're looking for. So we're now wondering if when they're sending these people off, are they just sending them off to die? Are they just sending them off to a death camp? Is this a death camp? And my thing is, when did we become like Nazi Germany? When, is this like an Auschwitz that they're sending them to? What's going on? And this is what's happening. This is a state of confusion. Now, let's not forget that the moon in Sagittarius is about politics. It is about law. It is about legalities and policing and even, end quote, ICE and all of the politics and the policies. When you're dealing with a Sagittarius moon, all of this stuff comes into play. And so that's what's happening. Now, on top of that happened earlier in the day. So a lot of people may have spent Wednesday, April 16th asleep, like myself. But on top of that, the moon, which is in Sagittarius, is now out of that grand trine. So I was able to wake up. I've got some ashwagandha tea. Let me take a sip. And, I think we're all trying to figure out what's going on right now and get into a place of normalcy. But I think for about 10, 11 hours, it was probably pure, like just everything. To me, it all stopped. I've been meditating a lot. I wonder how many other people have been meditating or praying a lot. Those are issues. But the moon that's at 11 degrees of Sagittarius is now opposed Jupiter. Jupiter is at 18 degrees of Gemini, which opposes Sagittarius. I have said this multiple times over the last year. Jupiter does not like being in Gemini. Jupiter does not belong in Gemini. Jupiter is not at home in Gemini. Jupiter belongs in the opposite sign of Gemini, which is Sagittarius. In other words, the moon is in Sagittarius is opposing its own ruling sign or planet of Jupiter, as it sits in its unnatural home of Gemini. And when I say unnatural, I mean that. I feel like a lot of what's been happening is unnatural. And it feels unnatural. There are decisions being made by a Gemini that are unnatural. People are accepting these decisions, but this is not normal. This feels unnatural. Luck is in its opposite home. I feel like I must scream it, because I don't feel like people are hearing me. Please don't make any final or fateful decisions at this time. Especially right now with Mercury sitting on Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, restarting the entire Zodiac circle at 0 degrees of Aries. It's going to take years before Neptune gets around. I think 144 years or something crazy. It's a long time. A long time. So it's setting off something, you guys. I hope it's not idiocy. And there's a lot of memes out there right now that said that this particular presidency was the start of idiocy or stupidity. I think it just coincided with Neptune on Mercury. I don't know if anything's going to make sense at all. Nothing makes sense to me, by the way. And Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius is sextile this Aries onslaught. Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries and Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius are sextile. And I just made a video about that. You can go find it somewhere on the channel, where I talk specifically about these two things, Pluto in Aquarius and Neptune in Aries, and where they are and the last time they were there and what that created. It ain't good. It's always something horrific. I need people to understand where we are. So some of us might be bowing out with sleep, and I just felt like I could not keep my eyes open. It was just too much. But I'm sure that's when it was a grand trine. And a grand trine makes you lazy anyway, but that particular one involving Mercury and Neptune was called Shut-Eye. Okay, all systems down. That's exactly the way it felt. Like when I count to 3, we would all go to sleep. 1, 2, 3, right? That's exactly what it felt like. And I feel like some of us are coming out of that. Now, as if that wasn't enough, right? All that confusion and Neptune and the thinking's like affected and your work, and you might be thinking like slowly and not feeling like you're very intelligent at the moment. But on top of everything, the sun is at 27 degrees of Pisces. And I've talked a little bit about the Pisces and the effects because some of these planets are moving away. But that sun at 27 degrees of Pisces, and the North Node at 27 degrees of Pisces, and Saturn at 26 degrees of Pisces ain't went nowhere. And right now, Venus is joining in the party at 24 degrees of Pisces. So, excuse me, I said the sun at 27 degrees of Pisces, excuse me. The sun is now at 27 degrees of Aries. It is the North Node at 27 degrees of Pisces, and Saturn at 27 degrees of Pisces. There is a point when it was the sun involved in this, but the sun is now in Aries. So thank God. Aries is just dealing with, the Aries sun is just dealing with Chiron. So the Aries sun was on Chiron. Chiron's at 23 degrees. It's separating, but it's still right on it. And so we were dealing with the Aries sun and Chiron, and that was a problem. And you guys, I will be back. I feel like I'm going to be sick again. Okay, you guys, I am back. And this is a weird experience for me because as I'm trying to get through this taping, I'm sick. And I've not had this happen, but I'm trying to barrel through it because I've already started it. So I'm trying to get through at least where the planets are because, wow. So I'm trying to understand what's going on and why I'm so sick, but this might not be there. Mars is on my North Node, so it could be that. Anyway, you guys, look. You take a breath. I think I've pretty much got through where the planets are. I'm going to stop talking about that. I invite anyone to share with me whatever their experiences might have been with the planets. If you've been feeling like you've been tired or sleepy, like I was talking about, if you have experienced any of that, share. If you could share that with me in the comments so I know that I'm not alone with this, because I feel like something is going on and that it's affecting hopefully more than just me. But I'm actually physically ill. Like that's how bad it's affecting me. And you guys, I wanted to come and pull cards and provide that. I have a feeling that I should probably do that in a separate recording because I've already been sick 2 or 3 times during this one little attempt at this recording. And if anyone else being affected by Neptune or Aries in general, or the Pisces planets, let me know, because that could be how it's affecting you as well. Maybe I'm not the only one that got sick today. Also, I think with Mars and Cancer, I think that some people have been having issues with food and eating anyway. I have. I'm wondering how many other people have. And let's not forget that Mars in Cancer is square the Sun in Aries. So Chiron's also square this Mars, but the Sun definitely square this Mars in Cancer. Okay, so I just thought I would mention that before I go. I'm going to hopefully I guess have to doctor up this video, and I'm going to do the actual whatever readings that I do for individuals. I'm going to do that separately because I don't want to start and then only do one or two and then get sick. Okay, so I'm going to do that separately, and I'll do that as soon as I can. So, you know, as long as I'm not sick. But this is streaming out somewhere, and I don't know where. But I don't want to keep this up. I want to go ahead and wrap this up, and then I'll come back with the readings. Okay. Much love to everybody. Much love to you. And if you stuck with me during this sick moment, thank you.